All right, guys, we are back. Michael Penix, Week 16 against the Giants. We're breaking into the tape. We're going to open it up with a naked bootleg, something we haven't been able to do with Kirk Cousins. We're going to talk about, this throw right here, first throw of the game. It's dropped. It's also good coverage by the Giants. I think what's most impressive to me is Michael Penix doing this with pressure in his face and throwing it with anticipation. This is awesome. And again, just in terms of the play call, this is something that we just couldn't do with Kirk Cousins because he can't move and we don't trust him to move. And I really think it was a limitation of the outside zone scheme because the outside zone scheme, people get mad when we can't get a yard, but to me, the outside zone's best trait is that you can mirror it with play action concepts. But let's go ahead and talk about this play. So right here, you see the motion. When we motion, we're going to check for man coverage. If they follow, it is an indicator of man, not a guarantee, but an indicator. So again, we get the motion. You're going to see Penix on that play action boot. You're going to see Ray coming up here, running this deep comeback, and then you're going to see Mooney running that post to occupy the safety. So, again, look at these linebackers getting sucked up. Penix rolling out. Right here, we just get beat on the block. It is what it is. But again, Penix, look when he's launching this thing. He's loaded up to throw. We're not out of our break right here yet. This is awesome. Never mind the fact we're making this throw when we have pressure right in our face. This is very good play for your first rep in the NFL. As a rookie, I think that's awesome. So again, we'll look at it from up front. And again, when I talk about the outside zone scheme, wide zone, one of the values to it to me is, it sucks that you can't always get 2 yards because the offensive line is built for that. But the design on some of these play action, it gets you layups because, again, look at these linebackers. They are so sure this is a run. We come out with the naked. They're not in position to do anything. Not that they would really be able to affect this play, but if we had a crosser or something come up behind them, it would probably be there. And again, Penix, pressure in his face, making the throw, a lot of velocity on it, hits him in the chest. Got to catch that. Good play by the Giants, but for your first rep in the NFL, man, that's as good as it's going to get. All right, next one here. You want to get me excited, man. Get to that backside in as your third read, throwing it over the middle with velocity, right in your guy's face. Your number one wide receiver, Drake London, kind of feasted this game. I love it, man. I also think, Bijan, once again, does a great job in pass pro, gives Penix time to get this pass off. But again, we're going to talk about the quarterback play, and I think this is, as a rookie, again, we're using the motion. We're kind of seeing their man up here. And what, he's opening to his left here. And we've got this corner route, and then we're going to pair it with this out route. And then top side, which is kind of where his money throw is, we're going to see Drake London coming up, running this in, and getting the ball right over the middle. And you kind of have Pitts chipping and releasing to the flat. So again, he's going to open to his left. And, this corner route, he's all on top of it. The press coverage on this, I think he could have potentially sat on this and maybe thrown it. But I like him getting to his third read. If it's not there early, you don't like the angle, get through your reads, be confident in what you're seeing, and throw a really good ball to your number one wide receiver coming over the middle, man. That's awesome. That's the NFL. You have to be able to get through reads, make quick decisions, make good throws, especially when your pass pro holds up. So, again, Bijan doing a great job coming up here and then peeling off to block this guy on kind of the stunt inside move. So I think that's awesome from him. Bijan is great in pass pro. I think Algiers pretty similar. Again, you might look at this and be like, well, he gave up the pressure. Pass pro's not going to be perfect, and your job as a quarterback is to navigate 1 point of pressure, and that's my personal about. When you're the quarterback, you need to be able to navigate 1 point of pressure. You can't expect everything to be perfect. And right here, Penix, he doesn't get startled. He throws a really good ball over the middle. Drake London makes a nice catch, gets some yards after the catch. I love it, man. This is awesome. For your second play, this is sick. All right here, we're going to see Michael Penix get to a layup throw. Again, just using his mobility, using his ability to kind of move a little bit better than our prior quarterback to make an easy throw to Drake London that gets dropped. And that's going to happen sometimes. But I think for me, this just shows you the offensive architecture opening up under Penix. I think the two things you can trust Penix to do is move a little bit better than Kirk and throw with more velocity. And when you can throw with more velocity and you can throw with a little bit more movement, it just opens up things in your playbook. So again, we're using Ray on the motion, get him upfield, draw out who's ever the kind of zone defender over there. We're going to send Drake on motion. We're going to have Penix fake the play, roll left, navigate the pressure, and make an easy pass. So again, right here, you're responsible for this guy as the quarterback. So make an easy throw. And again, if Drake catches this, that's probably a first down, maybe even more. Unfortunately, he drops it. Penix is a little bit unlucky to have a couple of drops on his first few, throws. But again, this is just a layup button. This is an easy opportunity to pass the football. And it's something we just didn't have with the prior guy due to a lack of mobility. And that's unfortunate. And I think Zac Robinson could have done stuff to help Kirk out. But in terms of Penix, this is what he opens up to do. I don't think he's a dynamic playmaker in space, but I do think he's functionally mobile. And when you have a functionally mobile quarterback, it just allows you to do everything you want to do. So it's going to be a big thing for the Falcons moving forward, taking advantage of being able to open up the playbook, try to hit some play action concepts that we have just not been able to do prior to now. All right, next one here. We're going to see Michael Penix just throw the inside fade to Drake London. This is one of those plays. I don't think they have enough reps together to be able to, connect on this all the time perfectly. That's something that's going to come with time. And, for his first game, I thought it was actually pretty nice how, on the same page he was with the receivers for the most part. But right here, this is the matchup you like. This is the angle you like. I think if you throw this back shoulder, you trust Drake London to come down with this. So I like the process. I like trusting your guy. I just think, as you get more reps together in this offense, Penix is going to get more comfortable because I think he's really good at giving his guys shots on footballs. I don't think he's necessarily the perfect accuracy thrower. I don't think he'll throw, those over-the-shoulder breadbasket type throws sometimes. But I think for me, one of the values for Penix is that he is willing to push the ball downfield, and when he does, he is always willing to give his guy a shot. So right here, it's kind of an unusual miss compared to his college film because, this is a throw that I think usually he gives his guy a shot. Like Rome Odunze at Washington, he's somewhat similar to Drake London as a receiver, and all the time, Penix would throw it to him in situations like this, and you just trust your guy to go up and get it. So I think as we get more reps from Penix in this offense, you'll see Drake London and him have a better connection. All right, next one here, you're going to see Michael Penix get to his check down to the flat. I think this is the right decision. He just misses the throw. We'll talk about, I don't think this deep in route is really there. I think that the linebacker is in the throwing window. I just think he leaves it late because we throw to the flat. So in terms of what we're doing here, you're going to see Ray coming up here, running that deep in. You're going to see Drake London kind of running this over, and you're going to see Mooney running a go. And then where he ends up going with the ball is tight end coming up here, chipping, release to the flat, and then you'll also have Bijan also kind of released into the flat over here. So in terms of diagnosing the play, opens kind of middle of the field. He's reading this safety. What's this safety going to do? Is he coming over to Drake? All right, that means you're going to want to look at this backside end window. Linebacker's there. I don't like it. Let's get to the check down. Throws it just a little bit off. I also think, the tight end doesn't do him any favors here. To me, he kind of slows up on the top of his route, but again, you can see Penix looking middle of the field, looks there, doesn't like the linebacker, decides to throw his flat. I think it's fine decision making. I also think, we'll point out the route from the tight end here. I think to me, right here, Penix is probably expecting him to kind of come down this line. That's probably how they teach it. And he floats a little bit. So again, you can see him drifting, and when you drift, it just throws off, your practice reps, stuff like that. So again, it's a miss on Penix. I'm not here to blame the tight end. I just think, that's an example of reps in the offense not being plentiful right now. And because they're not plentiful, he hasn't had a lot of reps running these concepts. You're going to see some misses sometimes, and that's fine. So overall, I like his process for getting to the check down. I like throwing the check down. Don't hunt a big play. Just play the play. And that's what he did here. All right, next one here, you're going to see kind of the pre-snap process from Penix. It also just being poised in the face of pressure, getting it to your quick throw, diagnosing the pre-snap read of, okay, I have really off coverage on my number one wide receiver. There's a lot of space in this area of the field. I'm just going to let and trust Drake to convert his route into a curl, and that's what I'm going to throw. So, again, pre-snap indicator here. Just this corner is lined up as if he has Drake London, which he does, and he's lined up way off the ball. This is a lot of space to throw the football. So when you have all this space, again, this is 10-yard off coverage. So when you have all this space as a quarterback, you're going to have to trust your wide receiver to know that, okay, I'm just going to run 5 yards, stop, and catch the football. And again, Penix also has some pressure in his face, so I think that makes this throw, a little bit better as well. So, yeah, easy offense. Again, if you're going to play terrible defense like this and play so far off, and, Penix is going to recognize this and just throw an easy football. Now, Bergeron here does a terrible job at pass pro, but Penix is able to alter his arm angle a little bit and get this around the rusher. So look at that, a little bit kind of 3/4 motion. That's kind of his natural throwing motion a little bit, but he still gets it around this defender, which is really nice. Throws an easy ball to Drake. That's easy offense. I like that. All right, next one here, you're going to see Penix trying to rip a seam to Kyle Pitts, but he turns it down, rightfully so. I think if he throws this to Kyle Pitts, not only is it a super tight window throw, it has very high potential to get picked or just absolutely get Kyle Pitts killed. So, good decision to turn this one down. I know he wants to hunt the big play, but you got to be mature with your quarterback play. He is. He tries to scramble here, make a play. Unfortunately, the pass pro is really good. This is not on Jake Matthews. This is not on Jake Matthews. I will go in and talk about it. So, this is where he wants to go with the ball. Just Kyle Pitts on the seam. You're going to have it paired with Drake London on kind of this outside go. And you're going to have Ray, coming across over here. And then you'll also have Mooney coming up and kind of running this curl with Bijan to the flat. So that's what we're running here. He wants to hit this seam shot. You can see at the top of his drop right there, planted, looking at Kyle, wants to throw it. Just, again, your window to throw this is really tight. It's really tight. I like turning this down. Is there a world he fits that in there? Sure. I don't like it, though. I think he makes the right decision turning it down. And he's trying to scramble here. And again, doesn't know the guys behind him. This isn't on Jake Matthews. Jake Matthews wins his pass pro rep. In fact, this is a really good pass pro rep from everybody involved. So what you're going to see here for Jake in particular is, hey, my job, get this guy away from my quarterback. Unfortunately, Penix scrambles to the right, and because he scrambles to the right, he's kind of set up to get sacked here. I think he needed to make a decision to get upfield quicker, but he's looking to probably try to throw this to Mooney, decides, okay, I'm just going to run it, and he doesn't realize this guy's behind him. So tough rep, but I think overall Penix made the right decision, tried to scramble, just, got taken down from behind. It happens sometimes, but overall I like his process for not throwing that seam ball. You want to be aggressive, but you want to be smart. Don't get your guys killed. And I think, overall this is kind of a nothing burger. I think it was, just another play in the playbook. All right, guys, if you want to play to get you hot and bothered, this is the one. Throwing it to Mooney on the deep out route, fitting it over the flat defender who ends up bailing from his responsibility, trying to stress the throwing window. And we just throw an absolute seed, man. This is awesome. This is velocity. This is accuracy. This is even a bit of touch. So, nothing crazy here concept-wise. We're just having Mooney coming up, stack the receiver inside, break outside. But what's interesting here is in terms of matchup, you're going to see this cover 3 corner. He's going to be following Mooney. And this flat defender is going to come down here, kind of matching the running back. And then he's going to bail out, and he's going to stress this underneath window. So this isn't a super easy throw. The top of the window is there. So right here, again, this guy is bailing hard. So honestly, if Penix would have seen this and just thrown it to Bijan, I think that would have been a pretty good play too. But when you have a quarterback who wants to push the ball downfield, and that is the strength of Michael Penix. He wants to push the ball downfield, man. He likes doing it. You throw this, man, that's a seed. Over the top of this defender. Does he throw that with anticipation? Let's rewind this a tad. When does he throw this? Oh, I think he does throw this with anticipation. Oh, yeah. Oh, man. I'm not going to steal JTO's thing and draw the A or whatever, but y'all know what I'm talking about, man. This is anticipation. I love this, man. This is out of his hand, not even out of his break. This is high-level quarterback play, man. It doesn't get better than that, man. Oh, that's sick. I love that, actually. I didn't even realize he threw it with anticipation until I was looking at it. I was like, dang, the ball's already halfway there. Man, that's an awesome play. This is one to hang your hat on. So when you're in the film room and you're reviewing your play, this is one of your top 3 plays for this game, for sure. Over the top of the defender. Anticipation window, so this guy can't drive on the ball. And we even leave Mooney plenty of sideline to work with to get his feet in bounds, man. That's sick. I love this play. That was awesome. All right, next one here. You're going to see Drake London convert his route versus zone and make an easy check down option for Michael Penix, who gets an easy pitch and catch. So, to me, this isn't really on Penix. This is more on just offensive architecture, good pass pro from Bijan, offensive line, letting Penix get this throw off, and then Drake London just knowing that he needs to convert his route versus zone. So, concept-wise, what you'll see them doing is, you're going to have Ray coming up here, running this kind of curl, and you're going to have Drake London. To me, Drake London is running a crossing route. But against zone, you want to settle. So he kind of ends up settling in the same window as Ray, but it works out because Ray is getting occupied by the linebacker type right here who's kind of chasing him. So this player's back is turned. He doesn't even realize Drake London's coming, and it's an easy conversion. So what am I talking about here again? Drake London, if he keeps running here, 41 potentially makes the play on him just because, as you'll see here, right here. All right, if Drake London is still running, that gives 41 an opportunity to try to run out here and meet him. So that's why Drake London converts his route over the middle. It's an easy, throw between the two defenders. Michael Penix makes an easy throw. Again, that's on Drake London, understanding what he's seen on the field, converting his route. Easy check down for your quarterback. Good pass pro up front. Jake Matthews, Bijan do a great job here. And again, easy convert. I also like that snag. Drake London's so good at just snatching the ball out of the air. Just a little bit off, but hey, he catches it, gets upfield. It's a great job. All right, now this is a tough one for me to diagnose. I think it's a bit muddy in terms of what Penix should be doing here, in terms of what Drake London should be doing here. I think offensive architecture-wise, I imagine they're hoping this outside corner carries with the vertical. But since he does it, he ends up occupying kind of the space that Drake London was hoping to catch the ball. If Drake London was supposed to drift more inside, I think this throw is there. I think Penix decides he doesn't like it, and he just decides to throw a check down to his running back, who's really good in space. So I don't think there's anything wrong with his process either. So what they seem to be doing to me is faking it to Bijan, and they're going to actually throw it to Bijan as a check down. And then they have Drake London coming over here and kind of fading this way, away from the linebacker, and they have this inside go. And I think what they're hoping is this inside go was going to pull the corner and pull the safety, and you were going to have all this space for Drake London right here to catch the football. It just doesn't work like that. So I think, again, boom, he's looking right down here. All right, where's that corner? All right, I can't throw it to Drake because the corner's kind of sitting on it. It's not there like I wanted to. All right, I need to throw my check down. Throws his check down into space. Nickel makes a great job because, again, you can kind of see him. He's bailing to occupy this window to Drake as well. So you can look at his hips. Right here, his hips are set up where if you try to force this into Drake, he might be able to make a play on it. But nickel defender does a really good job flipping his hips, getting back on top of Bijan. Bijan can't make a miss in space. There's nothing wrong with this process for me in terms of, Penix, what he's doing. I think they wanted to get a shot play to Drake kind of in that occupied space for that outside corner, but, they just didn't follow. They weren't stressed by 19 outside, so they just left it to the safety. So, play's not there. All right, let's not force the ball that we don't like. Let's just throw the check down. If Bijan can't make somebody miss, we'll live with that. So I think process-wise for me, this is a fine rep from Penix. I think he could have potentially ripped it into Drake, but it would be kind of a muddy window. And I kind of like him just, trusting what he's seeing, live another down, go make a play the next down. All right, next one, you're going to see Penix, just have his internal clock run out and decides to get upfield, take a decent run, get us kind of 3rd and 10, 3rd and 11. We were in a sticky second down situation here. So I think this is, perfectly fine by him. I think he could have sat there in the pocket a little bit longer. But if you don't like what you're seeing, just take off and run. That's the advantage of having a little bit of mobility to you. Not that you're dynamic, but you certainly can move a little bit. So, in terms of what the Falcons are running, kind of Drake London coming up here on the out. You're going to have Ray coming up here, running the corner. And then you're going to have Bijan to the flat, which I think the ball could have gone to. And then you have Mooney here kind of running up and running this in crosser type. So, off the snap at the top of his drop, I don't think there's anything there to throw. None of these windows are here. He looks here, wants to throw it to maybe Mooney, doesn't really like the throwing window. I don't blame him. This was going to be kind of tight. It might have been there, but also, this linebacker, we got to recognize, this linebacker moves because he scrambles. So this throwing window was probably not there to begin with. The only throwing window I think was really there was the check down, which then you have Bijan 1-on-2 in space. You're probably going to get roughly the same as what Penix gets here. So again, he takes off up the middle. You get 10 yards, There is nothing wrong with that. Well, I say 10 yards. He's probably got more like 7 or 8, whatever. Point being, he makes a decent little scramble here, able to get a bit of yardage back. Nothing wrong with that. And this is what rookies quarterbacks do. You have your internal clock. When it runs out, if you don't like what you're seeing downfield, try to make a play with your legs. So, perfectly fine with this play from Penix. All right, next one here. You see the Giants send 0 at Michael Penix. And, to me, it's not a shocker that he doesn't throw a better ball here. I think he gives Mooney a chance, which is awesome. And I think that's some of the value that he gives you over Kirk Cousins. He gives you a chance here. However, when I think of Michael Penix in terms of his college evaluation, I don't view him as someone who makes these sort of plays consistently out of structure. I think when you design out-of-pocket throws for him in structure, he can do that. I think we see that with the rollouts in the play-action game. When you get him outside the pocket in terms of that's the play call, I think he can make stuff happen. But I think when you get into sort of like these organic scrambling situations, so again, coverage-wise, you can see man coverage, man coverage, man coverage, man coverage. So there's no deep safety help. And we don't necessarily have the best pass pro up front to try to take a shot play here. So Penix is scrambling left, trying to get away from the pressure, trying to make this throw. And now, mind you, he throws this with anticipation, with pressure in his face. So that's awesome. And I think he gives Mooney a shot here. It's just a little too low, and it's not quite enough arm. And that's something that I think Penix, again, going back to his college tape, he's not consistently shown the ability to make out-of-structure throws like this consistently. Doesn't mean he won't make him some this season. Doesn't mean he didn't almost make this one, because he almost did make this one. Maybe if Mooney's supposed to break his stem back a little bit farther, this is a catch. I don't know. All I know is when I think about Michael Penix Jr., I don't think of him as the guy who's going to make these sort of throws consistently. I would love to be proven wrong on that. I would love to. But I'm just trying to, temper expectations for this guy in terms of what we can hope from him in terms of the NFL. I think he's done a lot of good up until now. And I don't even think this is on him. I think you should have a better, zero beater than this. I don't think an anticipation comeback down the field is what we want versus zero. But the throw is there to be made if he's able to, put a little bit more touch on it, a little bit more arm on it. But it's just not something that's part of his game, to me. A lot of other stuff he does great this game. We're going to get into all that. We've gotten into it already. But just, to me, this play isn't a shocker that he wasn't able to connect. All right, next one here. We always talk about what's the best way to beat man coverage. Again, we motion with Ray. We see man coverage. How do you attack man coverage? You run away from the corner. It's that easy. And this is very simple. It's, another bootleg for Penix here. And this is something that, I think Kirk Cousins obviously could make this throw. No one's in Penix's face. I think Kirk Cousins here would make this. The difference between Penix and Kirk in terms of our willingness to call it is I think I trust Penix more to navigate this play if it goes poorly. I also trust him to get through the play quicker. So there's less likelihood of okay, I'm running my naked bootleg, and as I come out of my boot, I'm already getting sacked. I think that's likely with Kirk Cousins. With Penix, he's quicker, he's more athletic, he's faster. He's just going to get through everything quicker, and you're less likely to have that situation where as he's coming out of his bootleg, he's already getting sacked. I think that's more likely with Kirk, and that's why I think you're seeing us call this stuff. But in terms of what I was talking about with the actual play call, so you can see this motion we had done, 22's following Ray. That is an indicator of man coverage. And when you have man coverage, you just want to run away from defenders because naturally, leverage-wise, there is nothing this player can do from this leverage to beat you once you break inside. You just are fast. Assuming you're faster than him, which you are right here. He's too far off. He's never going to catch up. Everybody else is occupied in man coverage. There's all this vacated space. It's an easy pitch and catch for Penix. This is good play calling. This is easy design versus man coverage, using the motion, understanding what you want to do. And again, we're opening up the playbook for Penix because I think we trust him. So what I'm talking about here is Penix comes out of here right here, and this player is crashing down on him super hard, just running straight at him. I trust Penix to mitigate this play either with a throwaway or somehow making this guy miss maybe. With Kirk Cousins, I don't trust him to do that. I just don't think he has the mobility and the speed in terms of coming out of this thing with depth and speed to deal with this defender if this defender had decided just to crash down. And that's the difference in play calling to me. I could be wrong. But I think there's a reason we weren't calling these, and I think it had a lot to do with not having faith in Kirk's ability to navigate it if it went wrong. I think if it went right, Kirk could do it. But again, you don't want to have Kirk Cousins getting blown up on a bootleg because you just can't trust him to get through it quickly. So, tough one for Kirk. But right here for Penix, hey, we're calling it. We're getting him easy layup throws. I love it. All right, not a ton to talk about on this one. We just see McGarry kind of blow his assignment in pass pro, and Penix, does a really good job not fumbling the football and also being able to get this throw off and kind of throw it away and prevent the big sack that would really just ruin your drive. So this is something I think Penix has done really well in terms of his Washington career. It's not a one-to-one at this situation, but he's always been good at mitigating negative plays. So again, you're just going to see McGarry here make the mistake, trying to get the double team, doesn't see the linebacker, obviously supposed to be his assignment, gives up an easy blindside sack on Penix here, but Penix, takes a step forward, able to win it, strong, not going down at the first contact, something we haven't seen lately. And then Penix able to get this throw off, throw it in the dirt, make it an incompletion, prevent the big sack that would have ruined this drive. Now you have an opportunity on this next third down to try to convert it and keep the drive moving. So great job from Penix here. I think this is, again, something he does really well, mitigating negative plays. All right, nothing crazy on this one. We're going to see Penix just rip the route to Mooney over the middle. The only thing I really want to highlight here is just, his ability to put velocity on the ball over the middle. That's very much his strength when you're throwing into kind of tighter windows here. I also think the pass pro is just really good. And, it's a great job being on time, which is something that rookies sometimes struggle with. But right here, I also like what they do here with the motion. So with the motion, they're able to kind of create this leverage because they're kind of up and press initially. And Mooney's going to be able to come up here and just run away from the guy, because this is obviously his assignment. You also kind of have that man coverage indicator for Michael Penix because the player moves with him. It's not a guarantee, but again, you can kind of see with the press coverage here, with how these players are aligned, it just kind of has the bones of man coverage. And again, just doing this stack, you're able to create a little bit of leverage, get people not able to play press on Mooney. And right here, this is a lot of space to work with. And again, throw that thing with some velocity, hit him in stride, get upfield. I think, if Mooney takes a slightly wider angle, that's probably a touchdown. So that's an awesome throw from Penix. Again, pass pro up front's really good. I think it looks like it's his second read, so he's coming to this as his second read. Throwing it with pressure, kind of in his face. Not really. I think that's fake pressure, but for some quarterbacks, that would, bother them a little bit. Right on the money, on the break, get upfield, get some yards after catch. Great job. Alrighty, we are once again talking about throwing with anticipation here to Mooney on the deep out route. Again, Mooney's so good at these out route corners and kind of deep curls, I think. So, it's nice to see Penix keep the connection that Kirk Cousins also had with Mooney on these. And this is just again, it's a dot throw with anticipation. Love it. Love the pass pro up front. I thought the offensive line really kind of answered the call to set up their rookie for success. And he also helped them out, which is, one thing that I don't think get talked about enough is that, your quarterback needs to help your offensive line out too. And Penix did that this game. So again, we just had Mooney running the deep out. He's so good at stacking the receivers with this little move right here, get across his face. And let's look at when Penix is throwing this. So before he's even in his break, Penix is tossing this thing. It's in the air. It's halfway to him as he's coming out of his break. You can't defend that. And again, tight sideline. So if you're any later with this, it's going to be harder for Mooney to get his feet in bounds. Instead, this is a really easy pitch and catch. It's a great job throwing with anticipation from Penix. It's a great job. I've always viewed Penix as a guy who, when he's in pass pro, that's good. He can light you up with his accuracy and his timing. And I think that's, what we're seeing in this game. All right, including this one just to keep the comprehensive view of what Penix did today. Again, right here, Giants are playing 10 yards off of Drake London. This is an easy pitch and catch for Penix. This is an easy catch for Drake. I'm not going to really break into it a ton other than to say, this is knowing what you're doing pre-snaps. You know where to go post-snap. And when the Giants are going to play this defensive coverage, which I think is freaking stupid. I know this was towards the end of the half, and I get that, but this is a lot of area to throw the football, just like earlier. So again, same page, curl, get upfield. It's that simple. And again, Penix, for him, I like the three-step drop, no hitch throw. Very decisive, knows what he wants to do. That's a great job from him. All right, next one here. This is the real shame of a play where Kyle Pitts just catches the ball and throws it to the defender. In the interest of being analytical, I won't, hate on him too much, but I think Kyle Pitts certainly hasn't lived up to what he would expect from himself, and this is a pretty terrible play from him. This is in no way on Michael Penix at all. I think he makes the right read. I think he makes the right throw. And you would have loved to see Kyle Pitts break a tackle and get in the end zone. Certainly what he was trying to do. But right here, we're running two out routes. Drake London's going to be closer covered. So for Penix here, he's reading that and just deciding, all right, which one do I like more? All right, well, Kyle Pitts has more of a step on his defender. Let's throw it to him. And we just get a terrible pass breakup. Yeah, terrible interception. Really sucks. So, luckily it didn't really matter this game too much. We obviously won in a blowout fashion, but if this is one we lost, you'd be sitting here and you'd really be kicking yourself. So, it's a real shame. I do like the tackle we get made here from Drake London. That's a real football player. So, shout out Drake London. All right, same play as earlier. We're going to see Drake London settle versus zone. Be that over-the-middle check down. Ray's behind him again on that curl route, and Drake London just makes some people miss in space, and he gets an extra, 7 or 8 yards. I think he had a really good game in terms of catching the football outside of the one drop early, in terms of being kind of the focal point of the offense, giving him easy layups of throws, which I think is what you want to do. I think he's pretty good after the catch, and I don't think that's something we have featured enough in this offense personally. But again, this is essentially the same play we ran earlier, where again, you're going to see Ray coming up, running that over the ball, sit, and then you're going to see Drake London on the crosser. He's going to notice the zone defender that's going to settle in right about here, and he's going to stop and catch the ball right here. And yeah, it's the same play as earlier. And again, it's another easy connection. The Giants defense certainly aren't world beaters. So this isn't Penix making an amazing play. But again, in the interest of being a comprehensive breakdown on Michael Penix's debut, we're going to include every single play that he made this game, and this is one of them. So yeah, easy offense. Great pass pro up front from everybody. Again, this is as easy as it's going to get. I thought the offensive line really lived up to what we needed them to be for a rookie quarterback. And yeah, it was an awesome day for the offensive line. All right, next one here. We're going to see Michael Penix not quite able to connect to the throw, to the tight end in the flat. He needs to make this throw. This is the throw I think he can make. He just doesn't make it here. And I know I talked about earlier about how I don't see him as a guy who makes out-of-structure throws very often, but this is in structure, and he needs to be ready to account for this player in his face and get this throw off to the tight end. He's just not able to here. I think it's a throw he makes decently often, just doesn't make it here. So again, using the motion, able to kind of see man coverage here, and then we're going to send this tight end across the formation to the flat. And everything else is essentially a clear out to throw this route, or it looks like Penix maybe wants to throw a little kind of double move, trying to get this player to maybe drive down and then get Mooney behind him. Either way, it's not really there. So we're going to throw it to our tight end. We got to throw a better ball than this. This is too low. This is too away. You have to navigate the pressure if it's in your face. And he just does it right here. So tough miss. This is something I would like to see us call again. I'd like to see Penix navigate it better. I'd like to see Penix make a better throw. But again, you're responsible for a free rusher in this situation. You have to make this throw. You got to have it in you. I know you have it in you. You got to make this throw. It's just not good enough for the tight end. You're not setting your guys up for success. All right, next one here. We're going to see the Falcons get to Bijan in the flats really quickly. I love this from Penix, recognizing once they bail out of the coverage and the linebacker starts running that way, that Bijan already has space. So again, they're showing this double A-gap blitz pressure. They're going to bail out of it. Penix sees that. He's like, okay, you have to run to chase up with Bijan? That's an easy pitch and catch for me. So in terms of diagnosing this, as soon as they drop this player back, and Bijan's running to the flat, you just have this, because there's no world where he's going to catch up with Bijan. So for Penix, you can see he sees the linebacker, his eyes light up. He's like, all right, I just got to throw this thing. And I love just getting it out quickly, man. That's recognizing what you're doing, and that's easy offense for us. Again, all these fake pressures are great, but this is how you can kind of get teams with it sometimes. Like, all right, you want to do this? If they're not going to have their edge responsible for Bijan, then Bijan's going to have a free release in space against the linebacker. And look, this guy has like little neck guard thing, so he's not good in coverage, man. Like, no shot if you have that, you're good in coverage. So, easy pitch and catch to Bijan, easy way to set us up in the end zone. Great job from Penix recognizing that and just throwing it quickly. All right, not much to draw up on this one. We're just going to see Penix rise up and throw it to Drake London kind of on the back shoulder. This is something that I think he's good at, is just giving his guy a shot down the field or in the end zone or wherever. And unfortunately, the Giants defender plays this really well. And, Drake's not really able to come up with it. But Penix, he does what he's supposed to do. 3-step drop, rise, throw. And it's a pretty good ball, honestly. Like, if I told you Drake London still came down with that, you'd believe me. Now, mind you, the Giants defender just does a great job on this one. Gets his hand in there, breaks it up. But, that's not on Penix. Penix gives this guy a shot. Drake London has a chance to make a play. Giants player makes a play instead. That's football sometimes. So, I don't necessarily always love these play calls where you're just throwing a freaking back shoulder or fade in the end zone, but it is just a weapon to have in your offense. I think Drake London and Penix should be good at that overall as they get more reps and against other teams. So, nothing wrong with this one. Just, a good play by the Giants. All right, next one here. We're going to see Penix able to hit a throw over the middle with a lot of velocity, able to really be precise with his ball placement, protect his guy by putting it on the back shoulder, get him away from that near defender. I think that's an awesome play by him. It's not necessarily the most crazy throw because the player's open, the protection's good, it's play action. But, being accurate with the ball and not missing layups is important to me. It's not something you can afford to do in the NFL. So, not the most incredible play, but it is a good play from Penix. He's out there. All he can do is run the play. So you're going to see this crosser coming over, and you're going to see this clear out here that's occupying the safety in this corner. And really, this player's the one he's trying to protect him from, and the safety's going to get down here late. So, for Penix, recognizing that and able to kind of slow it down for him here and let him throttle down and not get slammed from this safety or get this player underneath him, kind of being able to maybe get a hand in there and break it up. That's the highlight for me here. This is just really precise ball placement from Penix. I think it's awesome. Now, mind you, the pass pro is even better. If you can't hit a layup like this, we got issues. So again, layer him down. Don't let 27 come in here and bang your guy. Protect your players. So awesome job from Penix here, executing the concept. It's wide open. So, that's on Zac Robinson, in the Giants defense, not really being up to the task of stopping this offense. But, for Penix, he protects this guy. He does what he can on the play to make it from being a good play to, a really good one for him in terms of recognizing, I'm not going to get my guy killed. All right, on this one, I really like the decisiveness from Michael Penix Jr. I think he does a great job, just getting through his reads quickly, and also, obviously being accurate with the football to Kyle Pitts here on the return route. But again, you're going to see him open left. You're going to see him kind of step up in the pocket and reset. You're also going to see him handle an off snap. So there's a lot to like in this one for me. I think he does a pretty nice job here. Now, in terms of his read, he seems to open kind of looking at Bijan, and then I'm not sure if he skips this read or not. It's kind of hard to tell. He could be reading both as he's looking kind of in this direction. But you're going to see him try to get to Mooney here on this over crosser type route. And then he's going to finally eventually get to Pitts here on the whipper return route. And that's pretty sick. So again, open and left. You can see his eyes. Right here, I don't know if he actually gets through that read or if he just glances past it. Either way, it's not there. So whatever his process is, that's fine. Come over here, glancing at Mooney. All right, I don't really like it. The safety's kind of here. I don't know if I can throw this to Mooney because the safety's going to get over top of it. And then we're like, all right, let's get my third or fourth read. Let's get to Pitts. Step up, reset, throw with velocity, throw an accurate football, get Pitts upfield. So this is a nice play for me. Nothing revolutionary, but I do think this is just a nice, decisive play. And that's what you want to see from a rookie. Again, handling the bad snap, getting through your reads, step up, reset in the pocket, throw a football. That's what you want to see from a rookie, man. In your first start, that's what you want to see. Most rookies have a rough rookie season, and particularly their first games are usually pretty rough. So I think for Penix here, it was a good start for his career. All right, second to last one here, and we just have some miscommunication from Mooney and Ray here. They're both running the same kind of crossing route, and Mooney stops, and you can tell from his posture that this just is not what's supposed to be happening. But in terms of Penix, just play the play, right? There's someone open I can kind of throw it to. I'm not going to force it on third down. I don't care that we're in the red zone. I'm going to be smart with the football. And, it's just pretty obvious that this is not what they want to run. They're going to have Ray coming over, and then you're going to have Mooney literally right behind him, on the same trajectory too. He's going to settle up kind of around here. But, obviously this is not what you're trying to do offensively. Yeah. I don't know if it's in terms of depth, if they were trying to run a 3-level concept, if, one of these guys is supposed to kind of run a corner and then you have someone underneath. I don't know. All I know is, for Penix, don't take a sack, get rid of the ball, get it to your check down, kick the field goal. That's fine. Kick a field goal. Nobody cares. It's the NFL. Field goals are fine. Nobody ever got fired because they kicked a field goal on fourth down and made it. So, yeah, easy diagnosis, calm, make the play, live another down. All right, last one here. We're going to talk briefly about the play. To me, this is just the nickel defender guessing. He's guessing that Mooney's going to run this curl, and he's trying to jump it for a pick six. He's watching Penix's eyes the whole way. This is quick game. This isn't on Penix. This is just the nickel defender gambling, which, hey, if you make the pick six, cool. But if we had called Mooney on an inside go and, our slot receiver was running a slant or something, this would be wide open. So the nickel defender guesses, but he doesn't really guess decisively. He kind of half-asses his guess. And because of that, he's not actually able to make the pick six. So to me, this isn't really on Penix, even if this had been picked. That would have just been the nickel defender guessing, which, hey, we have a defensive back who likes to guess too, and Jesse Bates certainly is good at it. So, it is what it is. But I want to take a moment to kind of talk about Penix overall this game, what I thought he kind of unlocked for the offense. To me, the advantages of Penix are you can trust his mobility more than Kirk. And I think he did a pretty good job helping the offensive line. Now, I think the offensive line also played really well. But I think in terms of the play action game, we saw these bootlegs. We saw more over the middle passing attempts. I think Kirk had lost some trust from the coaching staff, not just because of his decision making, but also just because the arm velocity, there were times early in the season where he was skipping balls over the middle. And he had a nice stretch where he kind of got rid of that. But I think for Penix, they just trust him to fit it into tighter windows. And they also trust him with his mobility to be able to navigate some of the naked bootleg stuff a little bit better than Kirk. This is obviously a very different game plan than they ran into the game last week with Kirk and even a couple prior games. And that's because Penix, they trust him to move more. And unfortunately for Kirk, he didn't have that in his game anymore. And it just limited our play action game. And I think you saw them open that up for Penix. I think Penix played a mistake-free game, which certainly is going to give them some trust heading into next week's matchup with Washington. I expect them to be similarly balanced, try to run pass in a balanced way that they did this game. Try to push the ball downfield, try to, match this electric Washington offense. But for Penix, man, I think this was a good start to his career. I don't think it was amazing. I don't think you should sit here and say he's as good as Jaden Daniels or anything because, this was a good game. But it was also an easy game. There wasn't a whole lot of difficult situations Penix was put into. Now, that doesn't take away from what he did, but, this certainly wasn't, going up into, Denver or something and lighting up that defense. That's really going to test you. The Giants played a lot of off coverage, a lot of soft coverage. The run game was rolling, so it was easy for the play-action game to take over. Now, Penix played well. He obviously made a handful of really, really nice throws, but I don't think this is one of those plays you sit there and you fully victory lap. Obviously, I don't want to tell anybody not to be excited because I'm certainly excited. I hope that came across in the video. I'm excited to watch what he does next week. But that's really what's going to be the diagnosis. How does he play these next two games? If he's able to build on this or play similarly these next two games, we're going to be in an awesome spot. Even if he struggles a little bit, that's fine too. It's not always going to be roses for everybody. Rookies are going to struggle. So overall, we're going to do this again next week. We're going to break into the tape. We're going to talk about it, and we're going to keep track of Penix's development and what he does in this offense. So I'm excited about it. I hope you guys are excited about it. And, we'll kind of keep up with the comprehensive breakdowns. The only 3 plays I didn't include on this were 2 screen plays and like a shovel pass, just because, I was trying to not make it go too long. Obviously, it's still pretty long videos. So I'll stop talking now. Excited to break into the film next week as well. Thank you guys for tuning in.